I'm excited to welcome on one of the top rising prospects in 2022, Miles Byrd. What's going on today, bro?
What's up? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Well, let's just get into this. You're a guy that we can all kind of label as the guy's kind of come out of nowhere. You weren't necessarily ranked anywhere. You didn't have many offers, and you have a big high school season, and now you're ranked in the top 50. You're starting to get interest and offers from all over the country. What's it been like trying to get this recognition the past few months?
It's been crazy, like a roller coaster almost. I know I've been putting in work since sixth grade, and for it to finally be getting noticed, I think it's amazing.
And like I said, I mean, you didn't have much attention on you. You're now a top 50 player. You've got all these offers. So what's it feel like to now be in this position you're at?
I feel like I'm in a great position from the work that I've done, but I'm nowhere near where I think I will be in the future. I think I'm just touching the surface, if even that.
You haven't had many real AAU games, haven't played high school yet, now having this new spotlight on you. How do you kind of plan to adjust to this? Having coaches constantly want to watch you, having more media attention, how do you plan to adjust to that?
I think for me right now, just self improvement during this lockdown period. We can't really do much. Therefore, it just gives me more and more time to work on my game and my craft and get stronger. So just preparing for all that, I think would be me practicing on my own time.
We've seen a little bit of highlights so far. You're getting some runs in. You're obviously looking pretty good, but what's some of the biggest things you've worked on now the past quarantine time?
During quarantine, I worked on a lot of dribble pull-ups because this high school season, I didn't have a lot of that in my arsenal. It was more like a three or drive type of guy. My dribble pull-ups come a long way. I think I've been creating space on my drives a lot better and on my pull-ups, working on moves like that. And then I just been working on ball handling and getting stronger.
And you've also had a growth spurt. You're just around 6'3" to 6'4" range a year ago. You're now 6'6" and growing still. How have you adjusted to having this new height?
For me, I feel like I just been working on using my length when I drive, dribble pull-ups, trying to elevate on my shot. Because in that point, the position I'm playing, I'm taller than most guards my age, so I feel like I should be able to use my length to my advantage.
And because of that, I mean, you can now run that big guard kind of category. We see that called all the time by guys. That's kind of the new era of basketball. How do you have to continue to grow? I mean, do you still think you have some more inches in you? Where do you kind of see yourself
Uh,
growing out to be?
if I had to guess, I think I still have like 2 or 3 more inches left in me. Hopefully, if that comes, I think that will put me in a perfect position to where I want to go in the future.
Now, being that big guard kind of player, who's some guys you kind of model your game after, guys that you kind of even play a lot like?
When I think of an NBA player that I play like, I think of more like a Brandon Ingram type player, maybe a little Kyle Kuzma, just players like that. But yeah,
No doubt. So let's talk about some of your offers. Do you have any you right now? You have Cal Poly. What are those schools like? What's your relationship like with them?
it's perfect. I love getting on the phone talking to those coaches. They're always calling me, always checking up. So it's a great relationship. I also have great relationships with other coaches too. Just waiting for the time when we can start visiting, starting to getting in person conversation, stuff like that.
And just that first day, I mean, getting your very first Division One offer, what was that day like?
I mean, it was crazy because I was just at home playing video games and I was told to call a coach. I called him, and then you first offered, and then I go over to my friend's house, and we were all hyped. It was my first offer, and then Cal Poly offered right after that same day, so it was kind of a surreal day.
And being 2022, you've now been able to start having coaches call you as well. How's that been? What's it been like talking to a lot of coaches now?
It's been great. I feel like it matures me because normally I'm not talking to coaches, so I'm not having mature conversations. But with coaches, I feel like I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm getting more mature, and just I'm excited for what the future has in store.
Now, so we just talked about the two offers you have right now. Who's showing you a lot of interest at this point?
I'm being showed a lot of interest from Santa Clara, Boise State's reaching out a lot, UC Riverside's reaching out a lot. Um, just schools that are like a lot of schools on the West Coast.
Mhm.
The Villanova reached out last week, I think. Talked to them. We have a nice relationship already because that's my dad's alma mater. But just stuff like that. Yeah, those coaches they've been really really generous, really friendly. putting themselves out there, introducing themselves to me. I can't complain.
We'll get back into recruiting in a second. You mentioned Villanova, though. And we obviously know your dad, McDonald's All-American, big-time player at Villanova. What's it been like having him in your life and kind of having his basketball run in the family?
I'm blessed because a lot of kids aren't fortunate enough to have a father figure that's played at that high level.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I've had a dad that's played at that high level, who's willing to coach me, help me, train me. I think that's just the biggest thing I could ask for.
Not only that, he's also was a college coach as well, coaches School Pacific. Having that aspect as well, how's he helped you now understand it from the coaching perspective?
I think that's also helped me mature in a way because if I wouldn't have been like that right here with my dad, I feel like I wouldn't be in the situation I am today. I have a lot more connections. I met a lot more people. He's the reason that I not still playing AAU ball in Stockton. That's why I went over the Bay,
Mm-hmm.
go to AAU team like West Coast Elite. They've helped me so much also. Yeah.
Now, as I said, your dad's had it from the coaching perspective where he's been recruiting guys. He also went through the recruiting process as well. What's the biggest tips and advice he's not giving you as you really start getting serious into your recruiting process?
Just advice to stay humble, stay myself, stay true to myself. I think that advice can take me a long way because these offers and stuff can get in people's head. But I'm trying to be the player that gets an offer and continues to work, goes to the gym right after that offer, goes up, gets some shots up, dribbles the ball, go works out, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned West Coast Elite. Coach Ryan Silver, I'm really close to. And he's really got a lot of guys to the next level. And that's why you decided you went to West Coast Elite. Why did you make that move and why did you choose West Coast Elite?
Well, I didn't know much about West Coast Elite, and I was kind of concerned because I had a AU team that I played for in Stockton called Port City. I was really, really tied in with Port City. I loved that program. But when my dad brought up West Coast Elite, I looked into it. I was kind of like nervous to make the switch because I wouldn't know anybody. I wasn't known in the Bay at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that West Coast Elite does a great job of just welcoming new players, welcoming new families, and they expose your name very, very well. Like I think at the highest level in all of the AAU circuit.
And inside of that program, they've had guys like Nico Mannion come out of there, Josh Green come out of there. And the list kind of goes on from there. But also just in the program right now, you have names like Nathan Biddle, Amy Hamey, Austin Johnson. I mean, that list also goes on for a while. What's like just having the relationships, getting to know some of these guys at West Coast Elite right now?
I think it's perfect for me to know what type of high level players I'm not only playing against but friends with. I think if you put two high level players against each other, they'll just make each other better and better and better. And that's what I see with myself when I'm texting Aiden Mahaney or I'm calling Austin Johnson or texting Nate Biddle, stuff like that.
And for you now, let's go back to recruiting a little bit. Other schools you mentioned, we'll kind of talk about Villanova right now. For that possibility of potential, I mean, if they obviously come through, give you the offer eventually, how attracting would that be to possibly continue your dad's legacy and go to the school that your dad played at?
It'd be really nice. It's something in my family holds really tight. I, of course, would look at other schools. I'd continue to open my recruitment, but I think Villanova, it'd be a nice welcome. My dad would love it. Yeah, it's family. It's family over there.
Now, being a West Coast guy, would staying somewhere close to home, staying in California or a state like Arizona, Oregon, somewhere nearby California, would that be anything appealing to you?
Oh yeah, the Pac-12, whole entire Pac-12, WCC, Big West, every West Coast school that's recruited me or will recruit me in the future, I'm blessed for. Any Division One, Division Two, Division Three, playing at the next level is just a goal that I have.
That's an interesting point because I think a lot of guys get too carried away with, especially the blue bloods, but then Division Ones, then high majors, and they just want the best that they can possibly get. I think we're seeing with some guys like John Morant, you don't have to be at a Kansas or Duke, Kentucky to be successful. You can play at
Yeah.
any level. You can play D2 even and make it to the next level. What does that mean to you, and how did you kind of learn that and realize you could make it to the next level after college by really playing wherever the best fit is?
Well, recently I was on Twitter and I seen a tweet and it said JUCO, NAIA, Division One, Division Two, Division Three, they're all life changing opportunities. And it made me think that is a life changing opportunity. Not
Mm-hmm.
only are you going to continue your basketball career, but you also are going for education and you're furthering your life. And I think if you can just find a way to play at the next level, you're blessed.
Couldn't agree more, man. So you are in a position where you know you're going to play Division 1 now, though. When did that click? When did you realize you could be a high major player?
Just recently, actually, like when time came around and college coaches start calling me, I was just like wowed, like, oh, I'd get a call, oh, coach from so and so, like that's just like it was always a dream as a kid. It was like I can't wait for the day I could talk to a college coach instead of like it being one of my dad's coworkers and calling me little buddy or like what's up. So stuff like that, yeah.
Who would you say is a school that was going to offer you probably the soonest?
It's hard to tell with this because the pandemic, they can't really see you play yet. They can't go out watch you, and you can't visit, so you never know with that.
Absolutely. And talk about what you really want in a program. What's like the three biggest things that you're really looking for in a college program?
The three biggest things I'm looking for in a college program, I want a program where all the student athletes kind of like click, connect, even with all the normal students too. The people that are going there for education, I just feel like I want to have like a relationship. Like I could walk around a corner while walking to class and be like, "Oh, what's up?" to just a random student. And then also, I think I just want like a basketball town, like a town that goes to the basketball games. They're all rooting for you. Even jerseys are being worn. And then I also want a place where I think they're accepting the family. Like I want my family to be able to come and watch me play a few games, if not all of them.
Absolutely, man. Now, as you start progressing through this, I mean, how do you kind of plan to approach your decision? I mean, you're about 2 more years away from it. You're gonna be able to start going some bits once this pandemic is over and you guys can open up campuses. How do you plan to really take the next 1 or 2 years? What's your approach to ultimately getting to that final school?
I feel like I'm not the type that's just gonna go to one school and be like, oh wow, this is where I want to stay. I feel like for me, I have to go. I have to talk to them. I have to have a relationship with them, because that's ultimately possibly where I'm spending the next 4 years of my life. So if I take like a rational decision, just first time, it might be the wrong decision. So I'm taking things slow, and then I'm gonna be open to everything.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk about high school season. You talk about this new confidence you now have. How do you plan to apply it to the core? What do you think you can get done now in your junior season?
I think me and my team, the Bulls thing, but I think we could take it. We could take it all the way. There's a lot of great teams in all of California, Division 1, and my school is a really big school, about 3,500 students. So we play in Division 1, and if we do well, it will probably be open. So we'll play against really, really good teams. But I'm confident with my guys. I feel like all of us are working really hard right now. All of us are doing it on our by ourselves, and even with our team, we're doing 6 times conditioning, getting ready for that season in 6 months.
Last year, you guys go 25-4, losing the first round, but your overall numbers were pretty solid. 12.3 a game, almost 7 rebounds, a lot of the big time stats. What do you think you're capable of averaging next season?
I think biggest thing that I want to improve on is I want to get above the 10 rebound mark. I want to take my shot percentage way up. I feel like my efficiency at the beginning part of the season wasn't as wasn't as high as I hoped it would be.
Hmm.
So just helping my team by knocking down more of my shots, free throw percentage going up, of course. I want to see my assist take a rise. My points right now, I'm not really concerned about, because if I increase my rebounding, increase my assist, it might give our team more opportunity to score the ball. Also, dishing out more points to my teammates, that'll increase our scoring totals by a lot more too. So the points I'm not worried about, but the rebounds and the assists and the efficiency I want to see go up.
There is a game I want to touch up on. It was during the Christmas Classic last year. You have a game where you go 1 for 10 shooting. After the game, you come back out there, you shoot 400 threes. Who
hmm
established that mindset? Why is that your mindset that you want to go and shoot threes after a game?
I mean, it was just a tough game. Couldn't The ball wouldn't go in the basket, so it's like there's no one to blame but myself. And the way to fix that is by going out there after the game to our new shooting machine, just getting up my shots, trying to fix my form, trying to see what's wrong, trying to correct it. And we had a game the next day, so yeah.
We also discussed your dad obviously being a basketball player, having basketball run in the family, but also just sports in general that runs in your family, is how to play. What's your relationship like with her, and what's it been like seeing her not make it to the level?
I think she knows why, but I think she's a great athlete. I think she started volleyball very late, she's kind of on the shy side. I feel like she's not as vocal, but she's a really good athlete, really good girl, really good student. So I'm really, really proud of her.
And as you've seen her now go through her process, what's some of the biggest things you've taken from her now that you're applying to your recruiting process?
Just patience, I say, because she didn't make her decision until really, really late. And I feel like she felt like that was the best decision. So I want to be in that situation where I'm making my decision not on a timely manner, but on like a quality manner.
No doubt. And you also have a high GPA, 3.7. I know we talked about Coach Silver earlier. That's a big thing he prides his program in is academics. Who established that in you, though? Why do you value academics so much?
I've been talked about from my parents about academics since probably grades weren't even a thing, like kindergarten when you couldn't get grades, or even before middle school where you couldn't get letter grades. You get like a 4 or a 3. I feel like they've just been preaching it to me that if basketball never works, academics will always be there for me and my education will always take me somewhere. So I've been priding education ever since.
Is there another career path that you've looked at that you think you'd be interested in or you would really enjoy if after basketball or even during your basketball career?
Something I've really been interested in, just because a family friend of ours was a NBA GM, general managing. That's something that I'm really like intrigued in. Maybe agency, like sports agencies. And then I remember I was a big WWE fan, so I would watch what was one of the wrestlers tore his ACL, and they were like they took him to the doctors on a YouTube video, and I seen it, and I kind of fell in love with like how the doctor was giving him knee surgery. So maybe a surgeon like in the doctor field, medical field, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I believe you also grew up playing baseball. That's pretty much your main sport until you really switched over to basketball. What was it like playing baseball and why'd you decide to make the switch to basketball?
Baseball was actually like my main sport. Like I was probably better at baseball than I was basketball at the time. And I don't know, I was just like I played center and I was a pitcher, and I didn't really like pitching, and pitching was probably my strong suit. So I was like, I'd rather go play basketball where I could work. I'm young still. I could work on it. I could get better than continuing to like work on something that I know I won't have fun with in my future.
That, man. You also being in California, one if not the best states for basketball in America. What's it like playing basketball out there?
California basketball is different.
Mm.
It's really different. Like I know LA Hoopers, I know NorCal Hoopers, I know people from the Bay. I'm not from the Bay, but I know a lot of Hoopers from the Bay. There's just so much talent out here, and so much underrated talent. Like there's so many names that I can name off the top of my head that go under the line, but they will be big Hoopers in the future. I believe that.
Now, I was like wrapping up talking about a couple of different things. The first one is being kind of finding a legacy. I think that's something that everyone wants to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want your legacy to be for to achieve both on and off the court?
I think off the court would be a big legacy for me. Like I want people to know how good of a person I really am. I'm gonna be in charity work. If I'm gonna be in charity work no matter what. If I'm not a professional basketball player, if I am a professional basketball player, I'll work in charity work. I'm gonna be there for like I'm gonna work in homeless encampments probably. I'm gonna help out. So just helping out like in the community is big on me. But also on the court, I feel like I want to be like a person where they shoot a fader and they say Kobe. I want to be someone like that where there's a move dedicated after me, or like shoe dedicated after me where people can remember me by.
Touching up on the off the court aspect, that's something I think a lot of guys like doing, they have the idea of, but why is your kind of passion want to be in kind of helping the homeless? Like what kind of set you in on that kind of being the place you want to help out in?
I feel like if I'm above the line, I don't understand why I wouldn't help out to people who are below the line. Like sharing wealth is probably the biggest thing for me. If I have a lot of money and somebody doesn't have a lot of money, I would be there first thing to help them out.
That's awesome, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, my guy, and I look forward to see what God got next for you, bro. Of
All right, thank you.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless.